Welcome back, cruisers.
Welcome back.
Today we're visiting Stingray City and Starfish Point in Grand Cayman.
We sailed here on Royal Caribbean's Brilliance of the Seas, and we purchased our excursion on the cruise planner for $80.
To get to this excursion, we had to take a tender from the ship, a bus from the cruise terminal to a small marina on the east side of Grand Cayman.
From there, we boarded the Big Mouse, which is a 40-foot trawler, and it took us over to Stingray City. It took us about 30 minutes to get from the dock to the sandbar.
I was actually kind of shocked by how many people were already in the water when we got there. I mean, we've taken a lot of tours to popular areas, but this was kind of crazy.
Yeah, there were already 50 plus people in the water, and even more were unloading from the tour boats when we got there.
The water was cool and refreshing, and we were greeted by a small school of stingrays as soon as we stepped off the back of the boat.
There were dozens of rays circling around the sandbar, and the funniest thing is they had jacks were swimming underneath the rays, and I don't know if they were trying to get little scraps of food or they were trying to get some shade by swimming underneath them, but it was really cool to see.
Yeah, the funniest thing is the stingrays didn't seem to care at all about all the people invading their little paradise. They just glided between everyone's legs and around everyone looking for food.
Oh, and the tours that come here, they do allow you to wear masks, but they don't provide them. So almost nobody on our tour got to go underwater and actually snorkel or get a close-up view of the stingrays while they were swimming around. But if you did have a mask, you could just go under the water and get nice close-up views and stuff.
Yeah, the stingrays were super friendly. There was a few people with masks, but not very many. But you can see them flying around the island here is just gorgeous.
Yeah, it really was. It was awesome.
As I mentioned, the rays were extremely friendly, but I wouldn't suggest you getting this friendly. This guy actually reached out and grabbed the stingray on his own. Kind of dangerous. I'd leave that to the professionals.
This lady nearly stepped right on the stingray that was passing by her. This is why the tour guide suggests doing the stingray shuffle when you're in the water. Just move your feet back and forth. Don't pick them up and step down because you could possibly step on a stingray and that'd be very dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't see any stingrays out there that were like buried in the sand. That's typically why you're doing the shuffle thing. But after seeing this clip, yeah, I'd definitely keep your feet on the bottom as much as possible.
And with that said, I tried to keep my feet above the water as much as possible. I like to float and keep my feet like where I could see them because I was so afraid of them swimming by. I don't know why, it kind of freaked me out. So anytime I saw like a mass of stingrays coming towards us, I instantly just lifted my feet up and floated and tried to make sure there was none around us before I put my feet back down again.
Yeah, I'd say all the stingrays here probably had wingspans of maybe 2 feet up to maybe 4 is probably the largest ones we saw. But they didn't seem to mind us being there. They just glided across the sand. There was a few points when the tour guides actually picked some stingrays up and they would hold them up for people so they could take pictures with them and things like that. But otherwise, nobody seemed to bother with the stingrays and they just kind of glided around the sandbar.
Yeah, I think they were giving them little bits of food too, so I'm sure that encouraged them to to want to be there, and maybe that's why they're used to being around so many people.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people were out there, and the stingray really didn't seem to care at all.
Yeah, I did get to touch the stingray, and they insisted that I give it a kiss, which was very disgusting. It's probably the most slimy kiss I've ever had.
Yeah, I passed on the stingray kissing. I wasn't in there for that. The rays were extremely interested in my dive camera case. Every time I put it anywhere near the bottom, they'd grab a hold of it or come and bump into it. It really attracted them. It was kind of cool.
After about 50 minutes, we all loaded back into the boat and headed to our next stop.
Yeah, once we were back on the boat and drying off, I walked around to the back so I could take a look around. I couldn't believe all the other tour boats that were backing into the sandbar. Like hundreds and hundreds more people were getting on. I think we got here at just the right time.
The run to Starfish Point Beach only took us about 15 minutes, but along the way, the water shifted from crystal clear to a murky green.
When we got to Starfish Point, there was a few other boats already there, So we unloaded quickly and started hunting for the elusive red cushion starfish. I say elusive because the entire time we were there, we only found 4 of them. And honestly, those 4 starfish we found were being shared by everybody else on the beach as well, kind of getting passed around.
The guides assured us that there were normally way more at this location, but I'm not so sure about that. Maybe there were. Anyway, we only got to spend about 10 minutes at Starfish Point Beach, which is a shame because it would have been nice to explore a little bit of the park and maybe grab a bite to eat at the floating kitchen that they had out there.
Yeah, I think one guy in our group actually went and got French fries to eat back on the ride home.
Yeah, one guy with a little thing of French fries and everybody else just looking at him the whole way back.
Yeah, this is one of the 4 starfish we saw that day.
Yeah, it was just a bright orange, which was a little disappointing because they did say in the description that it was going to be all different colored starfish, so.
Yep, but we didn't really see anything, and we were out of time. So we had to get back on the boat and head back for the docks.
This portion of the tour really missed the mark, as it took us over an hour at idle speed with little shade, no music, and no rum punch.
Yeah, I suspect we took the long way home so they could sell their photo package for an additional $80.
With all that said, Stingray City was awesome. I highly recommend it to all of you. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and see where we're going next. Bye for now.